Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. So currently lots to talk about on this video today, so if you do consider dropping likes as I said, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So first talk of the development, I'm going to give you an update on is in regards to Sporting Lisbon's Bruno Fernandes. Now Bruno Fernandes has blatantly come out and he has basically denied making any negotiations with Manchester United over the potential move to Old Trafford, because we do know he's been on Manchester United's agenda for a long time now as Bruno Fernandes, and he has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. Obviously we do know that of course that Manchester City have also been in for him. I think that Manchester City are emerged as the front runners to currently get the player's signature. I think City are hopeful that they can get a deal over the line for him for around £43 million. So I think City are emerged as the front runners at the moment. But basically Bruno Fernandes has basically come out and said he doesn't know if he's going to be leaving Sporting Lisbon. He's mentioned that he's had 2 intense years there, and he says he doesn't know if he's going to be spending a third year there. But he has basically refused to rule out a move to the Premier League. So maybe next season Bruno Fernandes could be applying his trade in the Premier League. So he doesn't basically know where his future lies ahead of him. But potentially we do know you can see the deficiencies in Manchester United's squad, and obviously one of the priority areas where Manchester United are lacking of course is that midfield. And I do believe that Bruno Fernandes would be the right solution for Manchester United. Obviously, a player of Bruno Fernandes' calibre, obviously, the more attractive option for him, would be Manchester City, of course, because obviously City are strides ahead of Manchester United at the moment. But basically, I really like Bruno Fernandes. He's obviously, primarily an attacking midfielder. So obviously, it's looking like that Paul Pogba is going to be leaving Manchester United. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes would be a good, adequate replacement for him. But Bruno Fernandes' initial release clause is around 85 or 86 million pounds in his contract with Sporting Lisbon. But I think it came out a couple of weeks ago saying that Sporting Lisbon were demanding, they wanted around £60 million for Bruno Fernandes. So he hasn't basically said he's leaving Sporting Lisbon. He said he's not basically sure where his future lies ahead. So he could be playing his trade in the Premier League next season. Of course, he is under contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023. He's been in Portugal now with Sporting Lisbon a couple of seasons, but he can score goals. He can provide can Bruno Fernandes, and I think we need depth in our midfield, and I do believe that Bruno Fernandes would be the right solution. Again, he's only 24 years of age, so he has still got a lot of development in him. But I do believe he's got the abilities and the capabilities, to currently succeed in the Premier League, and I think he'd exceed expectation levels in the Premier League. Obviously, when he was younger, he had quite a lot of experience under his belt in Italy, of course, with San Pandora and underneath. But I do really like Bruno Fernandes a lot. So I think City are emerged as the front runners at the moment. Like I said, City are going to probably see him as a replacement for Fernandinho, but actually Fernandinho is primarily a defensive midfielder. So yeah, so there's more news now that's just updated about Bruno Fernandes. So basically he doesn't know where his future lies, but he's refused to rule out a move to the Premier League. But it is Man United and Manchester City, of course, that are currently chasing him. But like I said, he's still got a lot of years ahead of him, and I think he will fit. He'd fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy, because Solskjaer's blatantly made it clear. He wants to buy young players. He wants to bring young players that can grow, develop and emulate into superstars. Of course, so he wants to bring young players in. He's not intending on bringing any short-term players to the club. Obviously, Solskjaer is basically confirmed he wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the club. What we're going to be like with our recruitment, this summer, are we going to be, are we going to be, mad with our recruitment? Are we going to be sensible with our recruitment? Because, like I said, there's a lot of players on Manchester United's agenda, that are available for the reasonable figure, and I think we've got to get the right players, that have got the ability, to elevate Manchester United at least in the next 2 to 3 years. Of course, I know it's going to be hard for us, to attract players to the elite level, because obviously, we're not in a Champions League football for next season. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still believes we can attract players to the highest level. But yeah, we're getting a spending speed of around 250 million. That should be enough to get around 5 players or something like that. But I said it's going to be a lot more than 250 million. Of course, if we can cash in for the likes of Lukaku, Pogba, and De Gea, that if we can cash in for them, that's going to help us with our rebuilding process, and of course that's going to help us with our transition, of course. But looking at it, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding this squad, this team, of course, because obviously on this squad is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. Obviously Manchester United have spent a lot of money, over the years since Alex Ferguson retired. I think like £700 million has currently, been invested. But we've got to be ruthless in this summer transfer window. We do currently need to rebuild, but we do need a massive overhaul this summer. There's been another problem with Manchester United as well. We've let far too many players' contracts run down. But like I said, we are expected, to get a summer clear out. Obviously, all the players that we do want to leave, we're not going to be able to get rid of them all in one window. It's going to take a couple of windows, to currently address that problem, as you all currently know. But like I said, I think Bruno Fernandes, would definitely, be the right solution for Manchester United. Now, obviously, there's a lot of other targets on Manchester United's agenda, as I've been giving you an update on regular. Now, Joe Felix is another potential, Manchester United target. Now, obviously, Manchester United have been scouting, Joe Felix, for a very, very, well, since January, I'd say we've been scouting, Joe Felix. It's been blatantly made clear that Benfica are demanding, if they're, well, Benfica have said if they're willing to sell Joe Felix, they're demanding that his buyout clause, basically has to be triggered. And Manchester United have said we are willing, to trigger his 105 million buyout clause. But like I said, he's 19 years of age, and I said I'd like Bruno Fernandes and Joe Felix, but I don't see us getting both them. Obviously, City as well are in for Joe Felix. But he's only 19 years of age, and Joe Felix, has got a lot of years ahead of him, a hell of a lot of development in him. But like I said with Joe Felix, I do believe, he can. I do believe he can emulate into one of the best players in the world, can Joe Felix. Like I said, I don't think he can emulate into Ronaldo or Messi or Neymar, but I do believe he can emulate into one of the best. As I said, primarily an attacking midfielder, can play as a winner, can also play as a striker and a secondary striker, so very, very versatile indeed. But we do know he's going to cost us over £100 million. I think from Joe Felix's perspective, he's not sure about his future yet. He doesn't know where he'll be next season, but I think Benfica have blatantly said that team has got to trigger his release clause. But I think Manchester United, of course, are willing to currently do this. But this has only been Joe Felix's first season in the senior squad with Benfica. Obviously, he's yet to make his senior debut for Portugal. So we do know that Manchester United, of course, are chasing him. So like I said, if Pogba leaves, which is looking very, very likely, I said we need 3 new additions in that midfield. Obviously, we're going to need a replacement for Ander Herrera. So potentially, as I have been updating you guys on a regular basis as well, obviously we've got a lot of there's a lot of central defenders on Manchester United's agenda, because I don't think we've had a world-class central defender, since we had the likes of Vidic, since we had the likes of Fernandes, of course. So we do know that Matthias de Ligt has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. Now it is going to be looking likely, that he will leave Ajax this summer, but it still remains uncertain, where Matthias de Ligt, will be applying his trade next season. But we do know there's been a number of clubs that have inquired about his services. Manchester United have inquired about his services, Barcelona have inquired about his services, Liverpool have inquired about his services, and of course Manchester City have also inquired about his services, because obviously Manchester City are looking for a replacement for Vincent Kompany. Now, as you all do currently know, it did come out yesterday from Sky Sports saying that Manchester United had ruled out the move for Matthias de Ligt. I think the reason why was because I think some of the Manchester United heavy believe he does want to make the move to Barcelona. So potentially it did say Manchester United had ruled out a move, for Matthias de Ligt, of course, and we'd basically withdrawn our interest, because it did come out a couple of days ago, and this came from a very reliable Spanish journalist. He's called Gerard Romero, and he basically said that Manchester United are very, very close to signing Matthias de Ligt. It didn't mention how it had been finalised or nothing had been agreed, but it did basically say that Manchester United were very close to signing Matthias de Ligt. But obviously we do know that Manchester United have come up with an improved contract offer, and it did basically say that Manchester United are willing to offer him up to £350,000 a week, and maybe from Matty de Ligt's perspective, that may be too good to turn down, because it did basically say that Matthias de Ligt had told his agent Raiola he's willing to accept Manchester United's contract offer, because obviously what we've offered him, this is a figure that Barcelona are not currently willing to offer him, because Barcelona are refusing to increase their offer. Of course, some reports are suggesting out that Matthias de Ligt's transfer to Barcelona is a done deal. Some reports are currently saying that, but Manchester United have offered him around £350,000 a week. So we've basically made it clear we're willing to outbid other clubs. So Manchester United have still got a great chance of getting Matthias de Ligt. But I do believe he'd be the right solution for Manchester United. But if this was to currently go through, he would be. I think he would be the highest paid teenager in world football, and I think he would be one of the highest paid players in the club. So we're willing to offer him £350,000 a week. I think in terms of the transfer fees, he's going to cost you around 65 or 70 million pounds. It did also say that Manchester United put around a 70 million pound bidding for him. But I think Manchester United fans were actually convinced more, when Rio Ferdinand, put that post on Instagram, and obviously, Matthias de Ligt had currently liked this post. But like I said, he's been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. Obviously, we do know at least in the last couple of months that obviously, Barcelona have been in the ascendancy. Obviously, it came out, was it last week, from Sky Sports saying that, he's going to be joining Barcelona. His move to Barcelona is very, very imminent. But there has been a change of senior since then. Who knows, despite all the transfer speculation, he could end up staying at Ajax, could Matthias de Ligt. But I think it came out a couple of weeks ago, saying that Manchester United had offered him around a 12 million a year contract, but reportedly, Matthias de Ligt had currently turned this down. But I do believe he'd be fantastic for Manchester United. He's only 19 years of age. He's only 19 years of age. Obviously, so far has spent the entirety of his career with Ajax, being an Ajax player since the age of 8, the age of 9, and he has progressed up the ranks, fantastically well. And obviously, he made his senior debut with the age of 16. He's had 3 years now worth of experience in Ajax's senior squad, and he has become an integral part of their team. And and he can leave Ajax. If he does leave Ajax, he can leave Ajax, with his head held up high, winning the domestic double with them for the first time in nearly 2 decades, winning the Eredivisie title, of course, progressing to Champions League semi-final. So Ajax have had a really good season, but it still remains uncertain where he will be playing his trade next season. But like I said, if he comes to the Premier League, it will take his career to the next level. So what Manchester United are willing to offer him, Barcelona are reluctant, to offer, what Manchester United are offering him. I still think reports are saying that Barcelona are in talks, with De Ligt and his agent Raiola. So he could still be possibly, coming to Manchester United, even though we haven't got Champions League football. He still could be coming to Manchester United, because some reports have said that he would prefer the Manchester United move of the Barcelona. But like I said, I think it did say that he wants the Barcelona move, does Matthias de Ligt. Like I said, the main factor reason why, because obviously he wants to currently reunite with his teammate Frankie de Jong. But the rumours, do continue to persist about Matthias de Ligt. So that's the latest news to give you an update on that. Obviously, we do know that Manchester United are set to miss out on Napoli's Koulibaly. Obviously, Koulibaly has been on Manchester United's agenda, for a long time now. Obviously, we do know the process started last summer, about Koulibaly, under Jose Mourinho, and obviously since then, the rumours have continued to persist since then. So basically, last year, Manchester United had 3 bids turned down for Koulibaly. A £95 million bid, was turned down for him last year, and now potentially, I think reports are coming out from Italy. As I do keep saying, last week, saying Manchester United had around a £95 million bid turned down for him. It also said that Real Madrid also, had a £90 million bid turned down for him on Friday of last week. So potentially, Real Madrid have also, inquired about his services. But I think now, Napoli are basically, demanding and that's. Napoli are demanding an extortionate amount, for him. Basically, I think the quoted fee is around £150 million now that Napoli are currently demanding for him. But obviously, I can't see Manchester United or Real Madrid, willing to pay up to the £150 million for Koulibaly. So potentially, the most expensive defender at the moment, is obviously Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk, who Liverpool paid £75 million for. So basically, now Napoli are demanding double that if they are willing to do any business with Koulibaly. But don't get me wrong, I really like Koulibaly. There were positive stories coming out about him the other week, saying Manchester United we've now identified him as our number 1 target. It did initially say that we would have to break the world transfer record, obviously, to get a deal over the line for him. But now Napoli are just basically demanding an extortionate amount, and Manchester United are not willing to pay a figure of £150 million for Koulibaly. Carlo Ancelotti recently regarded him as one of the best centre backs in the world. He has got a contract with Napoli till 2023. He's nearly 28 years of age. He's Koulibaly. But yeah, I think now we are set to currently miss out on the Senegal international. But obviously, going back last summer, our priority, of course, was to get a centre back. But obviously, last summer we didn't get as number 1 targets because obviously, the board weren't, backing the signings that Jose Mourinho wanted to recommend to come in to the club. So initially, Koulibaly was our number 1 target. I think now Matthias de Ligt is a priority target as well for Manchester United. But initially, Jadon Sancho was our number 1 target for a very long time. Obviously, we're heavily linked with Jadon Sancho, and he did say Manchester United, were willing to pay his £100 million valuation, of course, because obviously we've got the financial power, to meet that valuation. But potentially, as it has confirmed, the Borussia Dortmund CEO has basically, come out and he's basically, ruled out Jadon Sancho, leaving Borussia Dortmund. We don't know about, Jadon Sancho's long-term future, but I think he's, basically made it clear, Jadon Sancho, that he's intending on spending at least another season with Borussia Dortmund, but we don't know about his long-term future. And I think the main reason why Manchester United have missed out on Jadon Sancho, obviously, with our failure for Champions League football for next season. But like I said, if Jadon Sancho was to come back to the Premier League, maybe sometime in the future, I think, it will help him with his developing process, and I do think it will create a better platform for Jadon Sancho. But he has been You know, he has been at Borussia Dortmund a couple of seasons. Obviously, used to play for Manchester City, but he never really got the opportunity at Manchester City, and this is why he left Man City and, of course, went to Borussia Dortmund. But looking at it from a financial point of view, you know, from a Borussia Dortmund perspective, you know, they'd make a huge profit on the player. But I think Borussia Dortmund do know how much of a central player Jadon Sancho is. But Borussia Dortmund got him for next to no. I think they paid around £7 or £8 million for him from Manchester City, but he is under contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022. Obviously, as the headlines broke out last week, that Borussia Dortmund, you know, announced 2 signings. They've got 2 signings in, you know, they've got Thorgan Hazard. Obviously, you know, they've got Julian Brandt, of course, who I think can also play as an attacking midfielder. I think Julian Brandt's supposed to be primarily a winner. Obviously, Thorgan Hazard is a winner. Obviously, Borussia Dortmund are obviously seeing Thorgan Hazard as a replacement for Christian Pulisic. And then he did say some Manchester United fans are convinced, you know, that Jadon Sancho's summer transfer is back on to Manchester United. But like I said, Jadon Sancho to Manchester United is not going to happen, not this summer anywhere. So he was basically, you know, the club's number one priority target. Obviously, we do need a winner. He was the obvious candidate for that wing, because Jadon Sancho is obviously, you know, primarily a winner. But talking about other midfielders that Manchester United are linked with, and we are linked with quite a few defensive midfielders, as you all currently know now. Basically, you know, there's been a lot of talks about Atletico Madrid's Thomas Partey, you know, going on, as they have been updating you about, you know, Thomas Partey on a regular basis. And I think it's come out at least in the last 5 or 6 days about, you know, Thomas Partey. Now, Manchester United have inquired about his services. Also, Arsenal have inquired about his services. And I think he's available for a reasonable figure as well as Thomas Partey. I think his initial release clause is around £43 million in his contract with Atletico Madrid. He's 25 years of age. He's got a contract with Atletico Madrid till 2023. I think he is primarily defensive midfielder. I don't really know much about him, but I think he has spent the majority of his career with Atletico Madrid, because I think, again, that defensive midfield role is one of the areas where Manchester United are lacking, because obviously we've got McTominay, but McTominay is too inexperienced at the moment. We've got Matic, who is too inconsistent, aging up, and as I said, I've got strong reservations about him, you know, too ineffective in that midfield. Plus, Fellaini departed the club, you know, back in January, so I do believe that we do need a centre defensive midfielder. So Thomas Partey is on Manchester United's agenda. We do know before that there has been talks of West Ham's Declan Rice, and I said I really like Declan Rice. You know, he's well Premier League proven, he's Declan Rice. You know, initially I learned his trade in the Premier League, and I think he has become an integral part of West Ham's squad, and I think he's exceeded expectation levels at West Ham, you know, really well as Declan Rice. He's British as well, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has emphasised an interest in quite a few British players, as you all know. But yeah, he's one of the upcoming futures. Like I said, only 20 years of age. He's done fantastic this season under Manuel Pellegrini. He has got a contract to West Ham until 2024. So it did basically say if Manchester United were to put a bid in the excess of around £50 million, you know, this could be enough, you know, this could be enough, you know, to currently let West Ham currently sell Declan Rice. But he's primarily a centre defensive midfielder. I think he can also play as a centre back, but I think he's primarily a centre defensive midfielder is Declan Rice, as I said. So I do believe he'd be the right solution for Manchester United. Obviously, as you all know as well, there has been talks of Idrissa Gueye from Everton, who I really do like. I think from an Everton point of view, you know, they don't want to sell Idrissa Gueye, but I think Everton have come to accept the fact that, you know, Idrissa Gueye, you know, wants to basically, you know, leave Everton, of course. I think from my own perspective that Everton, well, this is from Everton's perspective, I think they want around £35 million for the player. So basically, you know, that is the quoted fee that Everton are demanding. So basically, Everton are demanding just over 5 times more than what they initially paid for him from Aston Villa. Idrissa Gueye is 29 years of age, so he is highly experienced. He has got a number of years now of experience in the Premier League, you know, under his belt, of course, because he has been at Everton over 3 years now as Idrissa Gueye, but he has done it really well. Like I said, comparing Idrissa Gueye and Ander Herrera, you can say Ander Herrera's had better the career, but obviously, you know, Idrissa Gueye is the same age as Ander Herrera. Now, he's really good at breaking up the play as Idrissa Gueye, and you can't argue with his stats. His stats are really impressive. You know, he's one of the most successful tacklers in the Premier League. You know, he has I think he's completed the most tackles across Europe as Idrissa Gueye. I think he has got 3 years left on his contract with Everton. So basically, you know, Manchester United have inquired about his service, and I think he's been on Manchester United's agenda, you know, for quite some time now as Idrissa Gueye. So he's also, you know, linked with a move to Old Trafford. So there's a lot of midfielders, as you all know on Manchester United's agenda. And talking about Youri Tielemans from Leicester, as I've been updating you today, there's been a lot more news that's updated about him. Now it has said that Manchester City have entered the race for Youri Tielemans. I think Manchester United, Tottenham, now Man City and Arsenal have all inquired about his services. But it did report saying that Manchester United have been in negotiations with Youri Tielemans' agent over the summer transfer. Also, Tottenham have been in negotiations with his agent over the summer transfer, and also Manchester City have been in negotiations with his representatives. Now, Yuri Tielemans, I really like this player. He's primarily a central midfielder. I think he's had about 5 or 6 months now of experience under his belt in the Premier League, because obviously he's on loan at Leicester, and he's done very well since he's gone on loan with Leicester, of course. I think Yuri Tielemans, from his own perspective, did say he's expected to return to Monaco when his loan spell ends with Leicester. But again, he is available for a reasonable figure. Is Yuri Tielemans. I think he's rated at around £40 million, and this is what Monaco are rating him at, of course. He's under contract with them until 2022. So there has been quite a few clubs that have attracted their interest in the player. Only 22 years of age, so still got a lot of years ahead of him. But I think from Leicester's perspective, they want to get him on a permanent deal, and I think Leicester have held negotiations with Monaco about this. So Yuri Tielemans is also on Manchester United's agenda. But going back to what I said about Koulibaly, so obviously now we're set to miss out on Koulibaly. So now Manchester United, we are turning our attentions now on Ruben Diaz from Benfica. Now, looking at Ruben Diaz, he's going to substantially cost us less than Koulibaly. Of course, I think the quoted fee is around £60 million that Benfica are demanding if they're willing to do any business with Ruben Diaz. And I think Manchester United, we've inquired about his services in the past a couple of times. Ruben Diaz. Now he's only 22 years of age. He's a much cheaper alternative, as I said, than Koulibaly. I think he's about 5 or 6 years younger than Koulibaly's Ruben Diaz. I think he's tall as well, which is beneficial. He has spent, obviously, I'd say the entirety of his career with Benfica, risen up their youth ranks, of course, and he's supposed to be a pretty decent player, but there again, I don't really know much about him. I think he's got a contract with Benfica until 2023, so we are now focusing on getting Ruben Diaz, because obviously we're set to miss out on Koulibaly. So reportedly Benfica would run around £60 million for Ruben Diaz. But like I said, we need someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line. Like I said, I think we need 2 central defenders without a shadow of a doubt, because a lot of vast majority of Manchester United fans are saying we need 2 central defenders. Like I said, Smalling and Jones shouldn't be in Manchester United next season. It was a bad mistake for Manchester United, giving Smalling and Jones, new long-term contracts, of course. They've been 2 long-serving players at the club. Smalling's been here 9 years, Jones has been here 8 years. Comparing Smalling and Jones, I think Smalling's a much better defender than Phil Jones, but like I do keep saying, they shouldn't be at Manchester United next season, but they are going to be at Manchester United next season. Rojo, I think he's going to be going, which is good news. I think recent reports did say he wanted to stay at Manchester United because he still believes he's under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans, but initially he isn't first choice anywhere. I think he has become very injury prone, since he has come to Manchester United, because he has sustained a lot of injuries. So I would believe that Marcus Rojo, should be going. We can cash in for him. Darmian as well, we can cash in for him. So I'd say an estimated guess, we could get around £30 million, for Matteo Darmian and Marcus Rojo. Especially if a new centre back as well is to come in this summer. Eric Bailly's future, could be in more serious jeopardy. Because I think, he burst into the scenes when he came into the Premier League, did Eric Bailly. Obviously, he's had 3 years worth of experience under his belt in the Premier League. Manchester United got him back in 2016, from Villarreal. Manchester United paid around, £30 million. Obviously, was Jose Mourinho's first signing. Jose Mourinho got 11 players, spent just under £400 million. But obviously, Eric Bailly was the first signing. But I think he did well in his first season. But I think at least in the last couple of years, I think, based on his fallout with managers and his injuries he has sustained, I think it's had a really bad effect on Eric Bailly's career, and he's initially lost his place in the team. So I do believe we should basically get rid of Eric Bailly, of course. So yeah, I definitely believe that we do need 2 central defenders. Obviously we do know that we need a right back. We need a replacement for Antonio Valencia, of course. We need an upgrade for Ashley Young. Like I said, we need a cover up for Diego Dalot, because obviously Diego Dalot has proven himself and he has played well when he has played, but he is the upcoming future as Diego Dalot. He's predominantly a right back, I think, is Diego Dalot. Even though Manchester United have sometimes put him in more of an attacking role. I think he can play as a right winger as well, but I think he's predominantly a right back. But initially Ashley Young's our first choice right back, so sometimes we put Diego Dalot left back, sometimes we put him at right wing. But yeah, I think he's predominantly a right back, of course. But I think we've showed an interest in quite a few right backs, and obviously there's been a lot of talk about Crystal Palace's Wan-Bissaka. Now I really like Wan-Bissaka. I think he's predominantly a right back. Well, initially when he was a lot younger he was a winner, and then he got rotated as a right back, did Wan-Bissaka, and I really like Wan-Bissaka, a lot. He's only been in Crystal Palace senior squad about 14-15 months. He has got 3 years left on his contract with Crystal Palace. I think it did come out the other day saying that Manchester United had submitted a bid for him of around £25 million, but obviously this figure is not going to be enough, to persuade Crystal Palace to do any business with a player. I think the quoted fee is around 50 or £60 million that Crystal Palace are demanding for Wan-Bissaka. So yeah, I'd really, really love him to come in. You know, he has got a hell of a lot of years ahead of him. You know, only 21 years of age. So he's been one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets. But like I said, you know, he'd be a perfect successor to Valencia. He'd be a good upgrade to Ash Young, of course. And I think he's been subject to a lot of transfer speculations. And Wan-Bissaka, you know, Tottenham have been interested in him. Also, Manchester City have also, you know, been interested in Wan-Bissaka. So he's another potential Manchester United target. But like I said, I do believe the players that are going to leave Manchester United this summer, I think definitely, you know, Juan Mata's probably going to be leaving, of course. Obviously, Manchester United failed to agree a contract extension for Juan Mata. But I'd love Juan Mata, you know, to stay at Manchester United at least for another season, because I think he's been very, very consistent. Don't get me wrong, obviously now he doesn't really get chosen. You know, he initially doesn't even get in the team, like I said, and he's basically, you know, a squad player now, is Juan Mata. But I think he's been subject to quite a bit of transfer speculation, you know. Barcelona have been in talks of getting him on a free transfer. Also, you know, Newcastle have inquired about his services, because maybe Rafael Benitez, you know, wants to reunite with Juan Mata. It's uncertain whether Rafael Benitez is going to be at Newcastle next season, but reportedly, you know, Rafael Benitez wants to reunite with Juan Mata. So potentially he's going to be going on a free transfer. I think Man United, we were in talks of getting him a 1-year extension, or was it a 2-year extension? Obviously, the club are not willing, you know, to offer him a long-term contract, you know, because obviously, you know, he's 31 years of age. Obviously, you know that Juan Mata is aging up, but basically he's lost that yard of pace now. But like I said, he's been a good servant in the Premier League. He's been at Manchester United 5 years, made over 200 appearances in all competitions. In total, he's been in the Premier League 8 years as Juan Mata. This was including his 2.5-3 years he had with Chelsea when he was younger. But maybe from Juan Mata's perspective, he may want to make a return back to Spain, because obviously he had a lot of experience playing in Spain when he was younger. You know, with Real Madrid, where he began his career, you know, with Valencia and all that. So he may well go to Barcelona, or will he go to Newcastle and continue playing his trade in the Premier League? No one matter. But I do believe he's going to be definitely, you know, leaving Manchester United. Talking about Romelu Lukaku as well, you know, he has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. I've been updating you about Lukaku on a regular basis. Now, potentially talking about Lukaku, obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has blatantly made it clear that Lukaku is surplus to requirements. He's enjoyed a very, very difficult time this season with Manchester United as Romelu Lukaku. Obviously, we know mainly that Rashford has been first choice ahead of him. But like I said, I've got strong reservations about him, you know, when it comes to his link-up play, you know, when it comes to his first touch, you know, when it comes to him playing the big teams and all that. You know, I've got really, really strong reservations about that. Don't get me wrong, I'll credit Lukaku, because his ratio is very, very good in the Premier League. You know, his pedigree is very, very good in the Premier League. And like I said, you know, Manchester United have got a history of spending big on players, especially in recent seasons. Like I said, prime example, Lukaku, 75 million. Obviously, you know, Paul Pogba, 89 million pounds, of course, our most expensive signing. But talking about Lukaku, Manchester United paid 75 million pounds to him. You know, there were 15 million add-ons included, so he'd risen it initially to 90 million pounds. You know, he's still got 3 years left on his contract. So I think Manchester United, we're basically looking to recoup the initial 70 million pounds we did pay for him from Everton a couple of seasons ago. But we do know, I think Lukaku is actually, you know, destined to make the move to Italy. Obviously, he was talking a lot about Italy a while back, you know, about his dream, you know, to currently play in the Serie A. We do know it has been in some land that have inquired about his services. But it did come out a couple of days ago saying that Inter Milan had agreed personal terms for Lukaku. It did say also that Inter Milan were willing to meet his £170,000 a week wage demands, but an initial fee hasn't obviously, you know, come to an agreement, because the quoted fee was around £70 million that Manchester United want for him. Inter Milan rate him at around £50 million, and obviously Antonio Conte is expected, you know, to be Inter Milan's new manager, of course, you know, to replace Lucius Belter Inter Milan. But I think Antonio Conte has identified, you know, Romelu Lukaku as his potential, you know, number one target. But like I said, it will be beneficial, of course, if we can cash in for Romelu Lukaku. So probably we'll end up, you know, playing his trade in Italy next season with Inter Milan. Obviously, you know, there was talks a couple of days ago saying that Inter Milan were willing to offer £30 million plus Ivan Perisic, you know, to currently lure Romelu Lukaku away from Manchester United. But obviously, you know, Manchester United are not willing to go along with this, because Ivan Perisic is no longer a Manchester United target. He obviously was a target for Manchester United under Mourinho. He was a long-term target for Manchester United under Jose Mourinho, but obviously the main factor reason why we didn't get a deal over the line for Perisic under Jose Mourinho is because obviously Inter Milan were demanding £48 million. Manchester United were reluctant to pay up to £48 million, and this is why, you know, we didn't get the deal over the line for Perisic, because maybe we thought at that moment in time that Perisic isn't worth £48 million. He's not obviously not a Galactico player, Ivan Perisic. But so I think it did blatantly make it clear, if we are willing to let Lukaku go as any part of a swap deal, you know, we've demanded decided that we want Inter Milan's Milan Skriniar. Of course, I know it doesn't really make much sense, swapping a defender for a striker, but Milan Skriniar, of course, again has been a long-term target for Manchester United, of course, and obviously last summer he was one of Jose Mourinho's targets. Milan Skriniar, he's on the contract with Inter Milan till 2023, just recently signed a new deal. I think he's played about 80 odd games for Inter Milan. I think he's been there a couple of seasons as Milan Skriniar, but yeah, very, very young indeed. But Manchester United have been linked, with Milan Skriniar for a long time. So if we're willing to get rid of Lukaku as part of a swap deal, we are demanding Milan Skriniar. Whether Inter Milan are going to go along with this or not, I do not know. But I do believe that Lukaku is one of the favourable players that's going to be departing Manchester United this summer. And obviously, we are going to need a replacement for him. Now, as I've been updating you about Paul Pogba as well, so Paul Pogba, I think he's been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. I do believe that Paul Pogba is going to be definitely leaving Manchester United. I think, Real Madrid is his preferred destination. I think Real Madrid is his likely destination, Paul Pogba's. Obviously, Zinedine Zidane has emphasised his targets for this summer, but obviously he's got a lot of players on his agenda, but he's obviously identified his two main targets, and that's obviously Paul Pogba and Chelsea's of course Eden Hazard. Well, initially Manchester United do not even want to sell Paul Pogba, but if it comes to it where we haven't got a choice to sell Paul Pogba, then I think we initially were demanding around 150 or 160 million pounds for Pogba, and initially this is a figure that Real Madrid of course are not willing to pay for Paul Pogba. So I did say we could maybe get around 120 or 130 million pounds for Paul Pogba. So potentially, going back, weeks and weeks ago, Paul Pogba was talking a lot about Real Madrid, about his dream to play for them and all that. Obviously, we do know that Zinedine Zidane is a big admirer of the player, but we do know that Paul Pogba's agent Raiola for a number of weeks now, or should I say a month or something, has been in the process of finding, Paul Pogba a new club. Of course, Paul Pogba's still got 3 years left on his contract with Manchester United, so he's on the contract here until 2022. Of course, obviously reports came out a couple of days ago saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, was willing to offer him the captain's armband, in a bid to convince Paul Pogba to stay at Manchester United. But obviously this isn't going to be enough, to convince Pogba to stay at the club. Now I think we're only willing to offer him the vice captaincy role, Paul Pogba. But potentially it came out quite a few weeks ago saying that the talks between Paul Pogba and Real Madrid had currently stalled, based on his 13 million a year wage demands. Obviously his wage demands did not fit in the wage structure, of course, at Real Madrid. So it did initially say that Paul Pogba, of course, was willing to take a pay cut. But potentially, let's be honest, Paul Pogba hasn't really been the fundamental player as we all thought he would have been. He hasn't exceeded expectation levels as we all thought he would have done, regarding what he did at Juventus, because he did have 4 great years with Juventus, did Paul Pogba. He had 4 great years in Turin, but he hasn't really replicated this at Manchester United. Okay, we mainly saw the best of Pogba, when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager in his first 3 months. That's when we saw the best of Paul Pogba, and we mainly saw the best of Pogba, like I keep saying, when Ander Herrera was playing. So that just emphasised how much of an impact, Ander Herrera, made in that midfield. He freed up Paul Pogba, and Pogba was expressing himself, he was scoring goals, and he was providing. And at that 3-month period, Paul Pogba was in absolutely scintillating form. But at least his last 7 or 8 games, he has been so inconsistent as Paul Pogba, for Manchester United. And maybe one of the main factor reasons why he wants to leave Manchester United, because maybe he wants to be playing amongst better players, maybe he wants to be up there, challenging, maybe he wants to be up there, in Champions League football and winning trophies, and obviously Manchester United can't offer him this, of course. So maybe that's a couple of reasons why he may want to leave the club. Paul Pogba, of course, but yeah, he has been subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. But obviously, he's linked to a move away from Old Trafford last year, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho, and he was linked with his former club Juventus. He was linked to a move to Barcelona last year was Paul Pogba. So like I said, we could get around 120 or 130 million pounds for him, of course. But like I said earlier on the video, Bruno Fernandes would be the good replacement for him. But now, as it has been breaking out in the media in the last couple of days, saying that Juventus now are interested in re-signing Paul Pogba, and it did basically say that Juventus are willing to offer 2 of their players, as part of a swap deal, with Paul Pogba. So it did say Juventus are willing to offer Manchester United Paul Dybala and Alex Sandro, so they can lure Paul Pogba away for Manchester United. It did initially say that Juventus would have to offload a couple of their essential players if to fund the move for Paul Pogba, because obviously discarding the swap deal, and Juventus just basically inquiring about getting him outright. I don't think Juventus would be able to currently afford this, without offering 1 or 2 of their players as part of the deal. But we know initially Paul Dybala has been linked with Manchester United anywhere. According to reports, Manchester United have been in talks with Juventus for over a month, of course. And like I said, I've got strong reservations about Paul Dybala when it comes to some of his touches. I have also, got a strong reservation about him. Don't get me wrong, he has demonstrated in his 4-year period with Juventus, Paul Dybala, that he can score goals, he can lead the lines. He has still got him a lot of years ahead of him as Paul Dybala, but he has been on Manchester United's agenda now for quite some time. But yeah, and I think he's initially he's enjoyed a difficult time this season as Paul Dybala, because he hasn't really been given the opportunity. He's been in and out of the squad, obviously, since the arrival of Ronaldo last summer at Juventus. He's found himself surplus to requirements as Paulo Dybala, but I wouldn't be sure if he would be the right solution for Manchester United, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. So that's one of the players Juventus are willing to offer. Obviously, the other one is Alex Sandro. Don't really know much about Alex Sandro, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. I think he's been subjected to transfer speculation in the past. I think he was linked with Chelsea a couple of years ago. Obviously, I think he's been linked with Manchester United in the past as well, Alex Sandro. But I can't see Pogba staying at Manchester United, and I do believe he will be playing his trade next season in Spain with Real Madrid. So, I do believe now we're going to need 3 new additions in that midfield. Obviously, it's looking like that De Gea is going to be leaving. I've obviously giving you the latest news about De Gea. Of course, obviously he hasn't signed a new contract with Manchester United, and I think it's been blatantly made clear that he's not signing a new contract with Manchester United. Obviously, David De Gea wants to be one of the highest paid players at the club. He wants around £350,000 a week, and reportedly, the club are refusing to meet his current wage demands. Of course, so David De Gea has been long-serving, keeper here. He's been here 8 years, of course. He's made over 300 odd appearances in all competitions for Manchester United, of course, and he is potentially the best goalkeeper in the world. Obviously, PSG are linked to him. Obviously, Real Madrid have been long admirers of him, and we do know he's probably going to be leaving Manchester United. But like I said, we want to cash in for De Gea this summer. We need to cash in for De Gea this summer, rather than letting go on a free transfer next year, because that would be a calamity if we let David De Gea go on a free transfer next year, and we could get around £60 or £70 million for De Gea this summer. Obviously, at full value, he's definitely worth £100 million, but we're not going to get £100 million, obviously, because he's in the final year of his deal, David De Gea, so he's also going to be leaving Manchester United. But like I said, we need a massive overhaul this summer. In regards to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I don't think there's many Manchester United fans, that want him out. Obviously, we've got to give him the summer to spend. As I said, none of this squad's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He hasn't really got he hasn't got great managerial experience, not to the highest level, hasn't really won much. He won a couple of Norwegian titles with Molde, as I said. He was a great player for 11 years, with Manchester United. Was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But like I said, any signings we do make this summer have got to fit the culture and history of the club, and Solskjaer, of course, is looking to buy into our history. But I said, if this bad vein of form continues going on into next season, I will be critical of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and of course I will want him out of Manchester United without a shadow of a doubt. So it's going to be hard for us to get the players we want. Like I said, we're not in Champions League football next season. Obviously, we didn't spend out in January as well, so we've got to get our recruitment right this summer, because we do know other teams as well are currently going to invest. But like I said, Solskjaer's worked out his transfer strategy, and he wants to recommend a number of young players in. Looking like as well, Sanchez is going to be going, which is very, very good news. Obviously, we can't get rid of Sanchez permanently, based on his, substantial amount of wages. We can't get rid of Sanchez permanently. I'd love us to get rid of him permanently, but obviously he's the highest paid player at the club. He's the highest paid player in the Premier League, and like I said, Sanchez's wages are having a really bad effect on the football club. So I think he'll be playing his trade in Italy next season. It's Juventus and Inter Milan that have expressed their interest in Sanchez. Manchester United, of course, are willing to pay him half his wages off, obviously letting him go on a long season loan. But I think his wages rise up to around 500 grand a week. Sanchez is, based on image rights, based on the bonuses. I think it rises up to about 500 grand a week. But he's been so inconsistent for Manchester United. Hasn't been the player as we all thought he would have been regarding what he did at Arsenal. Played under Guardiola when he was younger, Alexis Sanchez. But yeah, he has no future at the club anyway. He's 30 years of age, he's aging up, he's lost that yard of pace. So yeah, we do basically need to get rid of him, because he obviously he's one of the problematic players. But like I said, mainly on that left hand side, I think Manchester United are okay. Obviously, Daniel James is moved to Manchester United now. He's very, very imminent. Of course, like I said earlier on, the move may be delayed for the short period of time, based on Daniel James, father, currently passing away. But his move to Manchester United is very, very imminent, as you all know, and that is very, very good news. But I think at left back we're okay. I don't think we need a left back. I think Luke Shaw's very, very reliable. Hasn't really done much on as a Manchester United player. Of course, as well, Luke Shaw won the club's player of the year, which was very, very good to see. So that's mainly everything to update you with. So the main part of this video was to give you an update of what's going on with Bruno Fernandes. Now, reportedly, He has basically come out and denied that he's had any negotiation with Manchester United over the potential move to Old Trafford. Bruno Fernandes basically said he doesn't know where his future lies. He's mentioned that he's had 2 intense years, with Sporting Lisbon. He doesn't know if he's going to be having a third year, but he has refused to rule a move out to the Premier League as Bruno Fernandes. So I think from his own perspective at the moment, he's not sure, where his future lies ahead of him. But I hope Manchester United can get him. But I think it does say City are emerged as the front runners, to get the players' signature. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing as always, and take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.